ticket. What is there to say, man? I mean, there's a lot to say about this game. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Down in the Valley podcast, post-game edition. My name is Edson Ochoa, and we are here alongside my good friend and co-host, Jacob Young. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well. I don't think they can hear me well. There we go. It's going great. Oh well. Okay. Let me kind of calm down a little bit. It's still going well. It's just unfortunately not the result that, of course, we all wanted. What else? Yeah. What else is there to say? It was very frustrating just at the end. And again, the only good thing about this is there's so much to learn from for this whole entire team. And even for, of course, coach and everybody I know. But being able to walk onto the field for a bit, seeing a couple of players, and it's the same deal of like last time against Corinthians FC of San Antonio. The good thing is at least this team hates to lose. Meaning everybody is feeling the same thing, that they feel frustrated, upset, and they know they should have won this. So there's positive in that negative space, if you get what I'm saying, as in this team is still together and they're not mad at each other. At least that's a census right now.
I don't know. I see your point.
Yep.
And I agree to it. The problem is that you're making mistakes at home where you didn't make on the road.
Yeah.
Against tougher opponents. This game was winnable, Jacob. I mean, they had opportunities in the first half. They had opportunities in the second half.
Yep.
When we talked about it in the broadcast, that defensively they looked stout. Aref Vera, standout.
Absolutely.
You know, even with this 4-2 loss, Aref Vera was a standout player in the way he performed today. My issue is not with him. My issue is the brain farts. Because let's call it, I had to limit myself on broadcast.
No, but they are.
But the brain farts that they had that cost them goals. I mean, hold on. JP Dynamo says, I've heard great Wednesday games don't count. Considering that the Dynamo is also losing. Oh, man. I need to call the Blaney fans, or actually no, Daniel Suarez Nation owns the toaster now. I just need to find a bathtub and get that toaster. Hashtag Go Red Crowns. But to be honest, like there was a lot of brain farts. I really don't want to say names because I don't want to be the old man yelling at Cloud Edson version of Edson that I was under the RGV. But yeah, there were some elements in the back line that made continuous mistakes that cost goals. To me, I still say it. I know people disagreed with me in the chat on the actual broadcast, but to me, it was not offsides for that third goal. I also say that ghost goal should have been a goal.
Exactly. So you're talking about there could have been 5.
Yes.
So, I mean, there could have been 5. It's true. Ghost goal, sure. But those are so difficult to call considering the fact that there's no goal line technology, especially in semi-pro. But, I mean, going back to your point, these mental lapses have happened more than once, even at home. We're talking about, again, the Tyler FC match. We go back to it. We weren't there, but we know right after a goal was scored for the Red Crowns, a goal was almost instantly scored for Tyler. So if you look at it that way, you're saying, okay, well, in this retrospect, you kind of saw it today where those mental lapses happened. Yes, Jack wasn't on goal in that time, but it's kind of the same way.
But in that game against Tyler FC, you can attribute it to fatigue. I mean, you talked to Zach Hargreaves during the week, and he mentioned that, I mean, we could have, we deserved to win the game, but at the latter end of the second half, fatigue was catching up to us because they played a game the day before at 10 a.m. against FC Dallas under 23s.
Yeah.
Right? And then the next game, and then the next day you play a game against Tyler FC. which is why it frustrates me that against difficult opponents, in a difficult scenario, they were able to get the victories, right? Statement victories. And at home, it's like you can't make it reflect on the scoreboard. I mean, I still think that you know, it's those mental mistakes. Okay, so let me get your thoughts first before we actually kind of break down what happened.
So thoughts of what? Just in general?
Just the game.
Okay, so thoughts of the game. Well, it's a strong first half from the Red Crowns. Here's the thing that is interesting. Why is Coach Reyna making the substitutions that he's making to start the second half? It just feels a little odd. He didn't have to make those subs right at the start. You let that second half kind of play in before you go on. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes, 55th minute, make those substitutions okay.
Okay, but to be fair, did they work? Did they work?
They worked some.
It reflected on the scoreboard. You saw Javi Ballesteros free. You saw him making plays. You saw Diego Rivera, even though he got moved as an outside back, you know, but towards the side of Vicente Alvarez out on the left, feeding him through balls, feeding Keviano Francis. I mean, the second goal was scored off a through ball to Keviano Francis, taking advantage of his speed.
True.
I don't have a problem with Coach Reyna making with the substitutions that Coach Reyna made at halftime.
Okay.
My problem is the lack of adjustments, tactical adjustments, when Austin United made tactical adjustments, especially after the equalizer.
Yeah.
I said it on the broadcast. What happened? They score the equalizer, they move their lines back. Now, Javi Ballesteros doesn't have free space. Now, Vicente Alvarez doesn't have free space. Neither does Keviano Francis. And then Keviano Francis has to, because of rotation, get substituted off. So you lose the speed up there. Obviously, you get a target man when Sergio Davila comes in. But it just wasn't working. Why? Because that's another thing. That's another thing that grinded my gears today is the crossing. The crossing was atrocious. And I know there's people that are going to be watching. I know that are watching right now. I know there's people that are going to be listening, whether it's coaches, whether it's players, parents. But there's no other way for me to say it. And I don't like being a Debbie Downer, right? But there's no other way for me to say it. It's like you look at the crossing, and have you ever seen the meme? I know if you guys watch Mexican Twitter, you'll see this meme from the B movie.
Oh yeah.
That's how Carlos Gonzalez looked at some of the crossing. I mean, I mentioned to you as another thing as well. Vicente Alvarez was unrecognizable to game, and not in a good way.
No.
I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, I have the ball. Okay, I have somebody that's open behind me. Nah, I'm going to try to cross it instead. And it was either blocked or nowhere near their teammate.
But I will give you this. In the second half, I will defend Vicente just a bit. You saw that more in the first. In the second, around this area especially, you started to see him try to pass the ball more to that open man behind.
Okay.
He did slow down a little bit, in my eyes. At least. He wasn't, necessarily taking those strikes. He was being a little bit smart. Yes, he had that one opportunity with the free kick. That was an unfortunate free kick for himself. Just a low and swinging ball, but that's not normally what he does. He normally takes more of those strikes, and in any sort, but they wanted to try something new. They didn't want just a Zach Hargreaves free kick there. So in that second half, in my eyes, he was better that second half for exactly what you're saying than in the first. But that's, of course, that was from my analysis from what I could see.
Okay. And I can understand that that in the second half things were different because he had a lot of space. They were going for more for the through balls.
Yeah.
But you know who played a better role out wide here in the second half?
Rivera?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Diego Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
Diego Rivera, when he went up, he looked a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
Cost baited fouls, baited yellow cards against Austin United, right? But you know how frustrating? I think it's frustrating on both ends, right? Because the defense probably gets frustrated that, oh man, oh look, another missed pass, out in front of goal. But then at the same time, you as an attacker, you get frustrated that things are getting chippy, things are getting tight, things are in a lock right now. You know, and then you make mistakes down in the back end.
Very true.
That cost you goals. Okay, so I'll have to look back at the first goal, how it was. Oh, but the second goal, right? It was one of those where, hold on.
I mean, you're talking about Austin, right?
Let me refresh my memory, right? Because I don't want to confuse the
goals.
goals.
The second goal was where Jack was blocked completely. I know that goal for sure. That was the second goal up the other end where Jack was being blocked completely and RGV was trying to clear it away but could not. And so Jack has no idea where the ball is. And all of a sudden that's put almost top right corner because that's just where it was. And Austin United are able to find it. So that's just one where RGV Red Crowns, they just could not clear it away.
Okay, yes, you are correct. Man, your memory is better than mine.
Oh, 100%.
I actually had to go to the broadcast. Yes, that's fine. Yes. Thank you. Have a safe trip back. Huge shout out to Jesse, our cameraman, for the game. Does a great job. Man, guy's great, man.
It really is. It's so much fun.
By the way, huge shout out to his channel as well because he covers Mission Veterans.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, Mission Veterans Patriot Soccer. So it's called Patriot Soccer on his YouTube channel, anyways, and really does a great job for the Patriot because again, sometimes another team can't necessarily get out there that much, and again, he just is able to cover it perfectly. I don't want to mess with him, so it's perfect. Exactly. It works out. He covers it, does a great job. It's very fun. Yeah,
considering that he came last minute in the home opener. But okay, but let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, the second goal. Okay, a couple of minutes before, RGV got the lead with the Keviano Francis goal. Okay. So let me describe for. By the way, guys, to everybody that is watching right now, I want to hear your thoughts on the chat. If you're an Austin United fan, if you're an RGV fan, I want to hear y'all's thoughts. About this game. Miéntenme la madre si quieren, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts, the fans' thoughts, because we're here for you all. We want to be a gateway for your voice to be heard about this team, just like I did with the Toros. We're gonna do this for the Red Crowns.
Yes.
Right. So if you watch the broadcast, be sure to we want to hear your thoughts. Okay. So the play goes like this, right? There's a ball. It comes off of a free kick, right?
Yeah.
William. I keep on forgetting his name. Fagenberg. William Fagenberg goes out towards the touchline, right?
Yep.
Receives the ball, and then sends across into the 18-yard box. Actually more towards the 6-yard box. Yeah. He goes out wide. Nobody goes for him. A bad clearance, right, by the defense that lands right in the middle of the 18-yard box.
Yep.
Lands on Devin Arnold. He whiffs the first shot attempt, but that causes Vicente Alvarez to fly out
Yep.
and away from the play.
Mm-hmm.
So he whiffs, strike one. Okay, the ball stays with him. Vicente goes away, fortunately. So now he's left all alone in front of Jack Crichton, and he shoots it with all of the power and the might behind his right foot at the height of where Jack Crichton's head is. And that is exactly what you need to do. Why? 9 times out of 10, the goalkeeper is going to want to move his head away
Yeah.
or duck
Mm-hmm.
to avoid getting hit with full power in the head,
Yep.
or at least a little bit higher up. And that's exactly what happened. And that ball goes into the back of the net, right?
Yes.
So what was the consequence of that? Now, Austin's like, okay, we got what we wanted. The result is okay.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the best, but it's a positive result on the road.
Mm-hmm.
There is no need for us to move our lines up and trying to find a goal,
Yes.
trying to get Philip Makwa or Fagerberg high up the field, because they're also seeing that, hey, they're high up the field. Hey, they're eating us alive with Vicente and with Javier Ballesteros. There's no need to expose ourselves like that. Let's move back. And the Red Crowns were unable to decipher their defense after that tactical adjustment by their coach.
Yes. No, I agree. It seemed stagnant right after that equalizing goal. I mean, the Red Crowns, you could tell from Vicente, even for Rivera on the right wing to left wing, anything that they were trying could not. So that was frustrating, just in general, to watch this team. And you can even go back to the first half, Edson, and say, why was this team so desperate in the first half, too? You mentioned it, but then looking back at it, it's like you had the wind to your backs. You had these opportunities. You tried a couple from the long range, but at the same time, it just felt a little weird that they were being a little desperate in that first half late. And then, of course, yes, trying to find something. You could tell Zach was frustrated. Everyone was frustrated on the field. And it was just because they couldn't find anything around. And it is interesting in that. Now, really quick, I do want to mention this because it is kind of breaking news, brought to you by your source of Ray Silva.
Good shout out.
Big shout out, South Texas Border Sports. Anyways, I believe he was in the press conference is why that we have been told, yes, that yellow card is accumulation for none other than Zach Hargreaves. He is unavailable this upcoming match.
To be fair, you are going against FC Revolution, the worst team in this conference. I think even if he wasn't suspended, I do think that Coach Reina would rotate the squad.
I don't think so anymore, due to the fact of how frustrating this match was. You're against Austin United. You lose 4-2. Let's take away that final goal because you did exactly what you were supposed to do in that time of pressing up your line, going for the all-out attack.
Yeah.
That's understandable. If more teams aren't losing 4-2 where they're down 3-2 late, well, then that's, I guess, maybe good defense. I don't know. My point is, it just, now you don't get that result. You want your best lineup, no matter who it's against, because you do have some anger to get rid of, in a good way. Meaning, well, what's their goal differential for FC Revolution? Not a positive one. You can definitely score 6 goals, 9 goals, 7 goals, stuff like that against a team.
Yeah.
That's like that caliber. I know that we're getting ahead of ourselves, but yeah, you want your best lineup just to make sure that you get this win. Now, granted, if you do switch out your lineup, now all of a sudden, yes, that midfield's going to be looking a lot different come Saturday, and because that can kind of calm his nerves, I guess.
Yeah, because you have to remember we're playing San Antonio. We're playing Austin again next Wednesday on the road.
Yeah,
you have to travel by bus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the calendar lets itself to put in some of these others that. You know who I want to see, and I want to see Vita, Diego Vita.
Oh, Diego Vita. Yeah.
I mean, I want to see what he can. I want to see what he can do.
Uh-huh.
I want to see, Javi Ballesteros as a starter. I want to see. I want to see Vicente get some rest. He's been playing all of the games, right?
Indeed.
Let's see what I mean. They did a good game against Tyler. They played a good game against FC Dallas.
100%.
Well, I said it in the pregame show. There's really not a huge difference in talent between the starters and the subs.
Yes.
So I think you can still get a good result against FC Revolution coming Saturday, right?
Uh-huh.
But this was the game that you needed to get the positive result, and you could have gotten the positive result.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, okay, if Austin United was overbearingly better out there on the field, then I can say, okay, it was fair. There was no shot that we could have gotten a positive result at home against Austin United.
Yeah, but
I could say, okay, fine, all right, I'm okay with it, or not okay with it, but I'm not left with frustration after the game.
Yep.
Right? Where in the what actually happened was we shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Let's look at the third goal. Right? Third goal.
Third goal, yeah, it's a frustrating one. For sure. Because that one just kind of...
Offside trap gone wrong.
Exactly. It happened the way it happened. It caught me a little off guard as I was calling it. Because it was just a little odd. Everyone is standing around. You mentioned it as well. There just seemed to be no hustle there. In a way, they're waiting for the offside trap a little too much. In the final third, at least. That's the most... Yes, there was a good through ball, but it's,
No, but what I was getting at, I can't blame it 100% on the defensive line. It's on one player.
It starts more in the midfield.
It's on one player, dude.
Here's where you're going to be wrong about that.
Why is that?
It's never on one player. Yes, it might start with one player, but it's never on one player.
You think so? Even
Yes.
even though the fact that this player was completely out of sync with the rest of his teammates.
That does not help. But when you have a whole 11, guess what? It still falls on that 11. Yes, you can't blame it on the final third, no matter what. But it's so frustrating in a way to say, yes, it falls on that final third, or it falls on this one player, because truly, there was still a time to be able to stop that goal. Yes, that goal still happens, but it's not like you're the last defender, that you made the mistake on the last defender, because you didn't.
He was the last defender.
Okay.
And I'm pulling the play over right now, but I have to go 10 seconds.
let me make sure about that. I mean, because
Here
sure,
it is.
but
okay, let's look. Let's watch it together.
Okay.
And when I edit it for YouTube, I'll go ahead and add the play thing. Okay.
Like, sort of.
I think it was Philip Makwa that scored.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, out wide, through ball. Cross. Left Philip.
You see, it's not the volley. Can you really blame... Look, he is left unmarked. It is true.
Yeah, but no. But look where Isaid is.
Yeah, he's too far.
Not only that, but he is habilitating Jeremiah. Yes, Jeremiah doesn't make any contact, but like I told you, Jeremiah was right in front and was obstructing the vision of Jack Crichton. Had he actually been in an offside position, the linesman would have called it offside.
Yes.
But no, Isaid just stays there walking, leaves him habilitated. And there's really no way to call it back because he was in an onside position, regardless if he was impeding the vision from Jack. He's in an onside position. He can do whatever he wants.
Because Izaid was right there. Because Izaid.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to. I didn't want to name him directly.
But I understand. But guess what? This is going to be looked at no matter what in film by the team. Let's put that out there now.
Okay.
Because they have the same video. They have their same video of looking at what went wrong. Because this is going to be looked at because they need to know what's going to happen for next week. Next Wednesday, when they play this team again, they'll look back at it, even if it's a week in, the Monday of next week, for the video of just looking at that exactly. Because, again, yes, you're going to see Izaid was in that. Why was he in that spot? Well, we'll see why. Coach will decide, of course, what needs to happen better and what needs to be worked on from that. And so, yeah, Izaid, he's blocking Jack. Not only is that player, so that's why he's in an onside spot. You do bring up a good point. And it's okay to call somebody out in that because guess what? They're only going to get better. That's the best part about this. This is the biggest learning experience for Izaid. This is the biggest learning experience for any of these players due to the fact this is still semi-pro. They're still playing college ball, and they're still improving their soccer knowledge. This is a perfect learning experience because in the end, guess what? He ain't going to make that mistake again. That's the good part. He's learned so much from this. They're going to talk this over. I'm positive.
And that's why I'm kind of torn in being as frustrated as I am. Right?
Yeah.
You've known me since the Down in the Valley years.
Well, yeah, but the difference is, and
professional, yes,
exactly,
and that's why I'm kind of like, man, like kind of restraining myself, and like I didn't want to call him out personally, but you're also right in that aspect. It's the only way he's going to learn. It's the only way they're going to learn when somebody is on the outside looking in. I mean, obviously, I'm not a soccer player. I don't have the body of a soccer player. Yeah. So it's pretty easy to dismiss, what I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is that even though I never played soccer professionally or semi-pro or college or high school, just middle school, just 1 year.
Wow.
As a goalkeeper for the second team. Shout out to Brown Middle School. Okay. It still frustrates as us, not just me, as us, who analyze this game, who commentate this game, who does the play-by-play for this game, and are supposed to convey what's happening on the field to our fans, to our audience, not only here in the RGV, but in this case over there in Austin. I mean, Austin's official Instagram shared our post where that we were having the pregame on Instagram.
Wow!
So huge shout out if there's any Austin fans. Huge shout out. Thank you guys for your trust in us. But anyway, where I was getting back is that's why it's so frustrating at this level at semi-pro because you can't be too hard on them because they are still learning. There's a difference when it's professional because they're getting paid, even though that shouldn't matter. But two, they got a higher standard of what is passable and what is not. Right? But at the end of the day, as a fan, as an analyst, you still want to say, hey, you messed up right here. Don't do it again. or not as sternly, but it's like, hey, buddy, like,
no,
this cost us. We don't want to see it happen again. Just learn, take the positive from it, learn from it, and continue growing. This is, I mean, like you mentioned, this is going to help them grow once they get back to college. If they decide to go into a professional level, right? So Ray says no post-game comments from Coach yet. Ray, if there are post-game and you want, or after post-game, if you want to talk real quick, you can put in the chat like what kind of he talked, and then when you're done, if you want to come up and kind of explain to us what he said, that way our audience gets a little bit of context as well.
For sure.
But yeah, it's frustrating that third goal because it's like if I had seen him hustle back and still kept them onside, okay, but he tried. But he didn't even try.
Here's the thing. I want to watch that one more time as well, if possible.
Sure.
Because I want to see if he kind of had that tunnel vision. I can give him just a little bit of the benefit of the doubt in a way of just, he's just there. And then all of it, well, okay. Because I lose track. I think he's over in one area.
He's the one that heads the ball and the cross.
He's the one, okay.
And then he just stays there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's upsetting. He got lost. That's the best way to put it. I don't think it's because, well, he hesitated. Looks like I think we're going to be kicked out here sooner than rather later.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I brought this light. But
100%. But
I
don't
guess,
feel like I want to be locked in here like that one time at HEB Park.
I think we were both both there when that happened.
Well, yeah, that's my point. There might be something here, everybody. But man, this is pretty interesting.
Abraham says, "What's up?" And he says, "Promising match by the half." It was promising.
Was promising for sure. That's the best way to put it. Promising, but not fulfilling.
No.
Promising, but not fulfilling.
Especially when you shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, but it's gonna be learned a lot for that next week. This is a good part. RGV Red Crowns, if they can finish off this homestand, their final home match, apparently. Final home match. I'm putting quotation marks in here because we still don't know the situation with Foro SC. There still could...
Oh, don't get me started on Foro SC.
Well, I mean, a long ways away that there could potentially be still one more match at home, but that's, of course, as you like to say, neither here nor there.
That's above our pay grade.
Exactly. But again, that situation of, yes, that can happen. Now, of course, we get back to it, and now the good part is learn a lot from this match to put into use against FC Revolution. Destroy FC Revolution, maybe 10-0. Just saying, wouldn't be offended if we scored 10. But that's, of course, a long ways away, still 3 days away. But it's just, that's a very big situation that needs to happen. They need to score a lot of goals.
They need to pick up the pieces and just leave this behind. They got to have short memories.
100%.
They got to be a Kyle Larson.
Better than this. They got to be a goldfish. 10-second memory. If you've ever watched Ted Lasso, every Ted Lasso fan just got that reference. But I kid you not. Yes, you know what the best...
Who are you?
Ted Lasso.
No. Like now, I have the memory of Dory.
Okay, yeah, but it's like that
just
for
keep
sure.
Swimming. Just keep swimming.
You
just
move
keep swimming.
on. You move forward. You keep pushing. Another person that I love, of course, always has that motto, that mantra. But it's so true because this team, they have so much talent, and it can happen. What are they saying?
So our good friend Costlist says these guys can't be like Davila. Are you talking about Taylor Davila?
Oh my gosh. I think I know why he's saying that because we've kind of seen that a couple of times from back in the day, that team. I don't really need to name that, that team's name.
The bovine team.
But that team in Edinburgh, that used to be a team.
R.I.P.
Of course.
Rest in pepperoni.
Of course.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it is frustrating for sure.
It is frustrating. It's going to take a lot of analyzing that unfortunately we don't have time for anymore, and we can't do analyzing right after because we're not thinking with a clear, cool mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think these pros games are a good parameter of what we're feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
I see what he means. These guys can't. So basically, he's saying they can't be as good as Taylor Davila.
Oh.
I mean, Taylor Davila is like one of the best players in USL Championship. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten an opportunity at the MLS.
It's so crazy. He hasn't gotten either MLS or even at a better league, just in general.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Saludos. Yeah. But yeah, I think let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Of course, yeah. final thoughts, I guess, for
Yeah,
both of us.
just some final thoughts. I guess if anything, we can do our own little videos or tweets during the week, kind of analyzing with a cooler head what happened here. We didn't talk. Obviously, the fourth goal, like you mentioned, it wasn't their fault.
No,
I mean,
you
it was
can't.
do or die kind of
That
thing.
was what you needed to do.
Yeah. So Taylor Davila should be playing in the Gold Cup. Definitely not biased.
But yeah.
Don't Cesar says don't trip in the dark on the way out.
Oh, 100%. That's going to be a little scary, but not too much.
Nah, I mean I have a flashlight on my phone. What do you do,
Exactly. Yeah,
son?
we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But thanks, Cesar.
We'll be fine. But if you don't see me on Saturday, then you probably know what happened.
There you go.
But guys, let's final thoughts, man. Let's wrap it up because it's already been 35 minutes.
Exactly. Final thoughts. Honestly, yeah. You wrap it up into one thing. Promising first half, promising start to the second. Just could not find a way to finish it up in the end. Players will always be frustrated at the end of the match. But again, there's only up from here in my eyes. There really is for this team. They still look good. And it's just revenge next Wednesday. After FC Revolution, I know, but we're staying on this topic of Austin United. It's just revenge. Beat them on the road.
I mean, we've proven this team is better on the road than at home, unfortunately. But
Yep.
that's our hope. That's our
Yep.
hope, right? That they can continue the good streak on the road. But oh no. Abraham says, Edson, don't go to Saturday's game. # Edson curse.
I didn't say it.
I'm out.
I didn't say it. Well, everybody, that's going to be our show. Oh, my goodness. But, oh, man.
I mean, just real quick, my final thought.
Of course, yeah, go for it.
The fans did a great job.
Uh-huh.
I think overall this team has potential, considering being a first-year team. I mean, we talked about how quick this roster was built. Anything counts as experience, right?
Yep.
But still, I mean, this was a clear opportunity to get a higher seed.
Yep.
In this as they search for playoffs, because it's so tight. It is so tight.
So, indeed.
Please don't tag us on that account. I'll tell you off screen.
But, I mean...
But what I'm getting at
Yep.
is like we did not have the luxury to drop points, especially at home.
No.
That's the frustrating part.
Yep.
The way it happened, right? All we can do is hope that we can gobble ourselves a lot of goals on Saturday and then get a good result on the road against Austin on Wednesday, and then see what happens with Foro. But to be fair, honestly, if I was in charge,
what happens.
I forfeit, because it wasn't like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna give them
No.
my time or the airspace.
It's fine. Yeah.
But guys, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep.
We appreciate your support with the Down in the Valley, with the broadcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We have a good baseline going into next year. Hopefully next year we can continue to build on this chemistry, which I think is pretty good to begin with, considering this is
100%.
my first experiences doing this kind of stuff. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see each other on Saturday for another pregame show on NSN, and hopefully another postgame show on the Down in the Valley channel. My name is Edson Ochoa.
I'm Jacob Young.
And we'll see each other on the next one. Take care.